What is going on, guys? Healy here, and today I have a great video for you guys. Before we get into it, shout out to RBT. His link is in the description down below. I got this idea from him. He is a good YouTuber that does a lot of these types of ideas. He does these wacky different scenarios, different rebuilds on different games. So if you want to go check him out, he is in the description down below. Today, as RBT did in his video, we are gonna see on MLB The Show if we could do real life trades. I have the rosters from before the trade deadline, a little bit before the trade deadline, before all the trades happen. And also I have the Operation Sports rosters, so there are prospects on every single team that will be involved in these trades. I have about over 20 trades that we will try. We're gonna see if it will work here, so stay tuned. We're gonna start off with the Dodgers. They have a lot of trades that they made throughout the season to get them to where they are in the World Series. This trade they made actually before the season started, but we're gonna see if it works now. So it was Logan Forsythe or Jose De Leon. A potential for Logan Forsythe. They needed a second baseman, so that's what the Dodgers did, and they didn't really need that pitching depth. It looks like the offer will go through. We're gonna offer them and they accept it. That's an easy peasy one. The next trade that the Dodgers made was they traded Scott Van Slyke and Clementia for Tony Cingrani on the Reds, the Cincinnati Reds. 68 overall, okay. And then Clementina, he has to be somewhere down here. Oh, no, I expect him. He must have been like a prospect or something like that. I don't really know too much about the Dodgers. I can't find the second guy, so we are gonna just see if we can make this trade regardless for Tony Cingrani. He was only a 64 at the time, so this offer will go through. Easy, just like that. Now this next one is gonna be hard. So the Rangers traded Yu Darvish to the Dodgers for Calhoun, Alexi, and Davis. Yeah, we got Willie Calhoun. This trade, I cannot find the third person that the Dodgers sent over, but I don't think it would have mattered because even if we did send someone a little lower, they would not have been good enough to get Yu Darvish over. So we're gonna see who we would have needed to send over in MLB The Show. Julio Urias, he would have been an easy one. Kenta Maeda would have been another one. So I think he probably would have been the go-to right here. But obviously you don't trade a starting pitcher for another good starting pitcher. But Kenta Maeda or Julio Urias would have had to been involved to make this trade go through in MLB The Show. The Dodgers also traded for Tony Watson, but looking through every player, no one was relevant enough to be in these rosters. Normally the higher end prospects are in this, but yeah, like I said, they were not relevant enough to be included. They could have thrown in Vertigo. Yeah, so it could have taken 3 easy prospects, a couple Bs to get rid of in their 60s, and it would have been easily good enough to get Tony Watson. It sucks that in baseball, the hard part compared to like the NBA and the Madden games are the prospects. Most of the time people aren't relevant enough to get traded or that are involved in the trades that are actually in the MLB The Show games. So some of these might be hard to do. The Yankees were another team that made a lot of trades. So we're gonna see if we can reenact the trades they made in real life. And the first one, Sonny Gray. They picked him up for Dustin Fowler and a couple other prospects. I would assume Fowler would be in the game. I don't think he's in the game though. I don't think. Oh, here he is. Easy. More than enough. You don't even need this last guy to be involved, but we'll just toss him in there anyways. And Sonny Gray is a Yankee. Another trade they made was they got Jaime Garcia from the Twins. So Jaime Garcia actually started off with the Braves this year. We're just going to do the same trade. He went to the Twins at one point during the year, but he got traded for Enns and Little. We have Zach Little right here, and then you have Enns right here. Obviously not enough to actually get him. You would need one more person in there, possibly a B rated. Yeah, that third baseman would have to be tossed in there, and the deal gets done. Now, the big trade that happened was between the Yankees and the White Sox. You had David Robertson, Todd Frazier, and Tommy Conley. They all got moved to the Yankees. Yankees probably had to give up a lot. Yeah, not really what the Yankees are looking for to get rid of, or what the White Sox are looking to get rid of. Like, still a bit away from actually getting those guys. We're going to see what the White Sox want in MLB The Show to see if this would be a good trade. Clint Frazier, Aaron Hicks, and Chase Headley for those three guys. Chase Headley, maybe. Aaron Hicks. Hicks is pretty decent, so unless you really need a lot of bullpen, yeah, that's the only way. Or a Michael Pineda. Actually, they suggested a whole new one. They threw in Pineda. Yeah, this trade does not look like it would get done, or it'd be good to even do. The Cubs made a couple trades at the deadline. The latest one they did was Justin Wilson, and they got Alex Avila. And they traded away one of their top prospects in Candelario, and they threw in another player. Candelario should be, he's only a B, and they traded away Paredes. I would have assumed he was relevant enough, but he's not. He is not relevant enough. So to get Justin Wilson and Alex Avila, they're both high rated. I wouldn't have assumed that they both would have actually moved. It could have got rid of a starting pitcher prospect and Miguel Montero. Miguel Montero is no longer on the team at this time, so Ben Zobrist, Dylan Cease. Don't really want to get rid of Ben. Justin Grimm and Oscar De La Cruz. That wouldn't be too bad. A starting pitcher, B potential. They might have done this. Justin Wilson, though, he sucked as a Cub. That wouldn't be too bad of a move. The Cubs wouldn't have to give up much in the show. The big move that the Cubs made was they got Jose Quintana. And they gave up their number one, Eloy Jimenez. Look at that. There's already a large gap to be filled to get Jose Quintana. Throw in Jimenez, 69 overall, A potential at 20. You don't need much more to get Quintana. None of these guys are pushing it over. Obviously, if I had the other two guys, probably would have pushed it over, but like I said, they are too irrelevant to be in the rosters. We are on the Orioles right now. During the year, they made a trade for Tim Beckham on the Rays. It was a 1-for-1 trade, and they traded Myers away. So Myers isn't actually in the game, and it does not seem like it takes much to get Tim Beckham. You could toss in a couple poorly rated guys. We're going to see how low we can go, though. We could just get rid of a couple C's and easily get Tim Beckham. Tim has a C potential, so he's not going to get that high rated. But he did make an impact when he went to the Orioles. Obviously, I think his rating got raised higher when he went to the Orioles. It played a lot better, but it does not take much to get Tim Beckham. Moving on to the Astros. They picked up Francisco Liriano from the Blue Jays, and they traded away Nori Aoki, and then they traded away T. Hernandez. Where's he at? There we go. Hernandez. And that's an easy trade. That goes through like nothing. The Royals made a couple trades to try to make their push to the playoffs this year. And the first one they made was to their fellow division rival, Chicago White Sox. They got Melky Cabrera and they traded Puckett and Andre Davis for him. Andre Davis was not relevant enough, so we'll see what would have been needed to be traded. Those B guys not needed. They could have got rid of Raul, but he's an A potential. They could have got rid of Jorge Bonifacio, MLB ready, Hunter Dozier. So this trade did not seem like it would have taken much, and you would get Melky Cabrera, who is an 82 overall. But the Royals also made another trade. They traded to the Padres. Padres traded away Brandon Maher, Ryan Buckner, and Cahill. Two highly rated people. I think some of these guys got downgraded, but I'm not too sure. The Royals got rid of Ruiz, Matt Strom, and Ruiz is not in the game. We're going to see what would have been needed to get this deal done. Bonifacio does not look like anyone else. Yes. No one else could be tossed in here besides, like, obviously, you could toss in Salvador Perez. So this trade does not look like it would have went through on MLB The Show. The Red Sox made a couple moves during the year. The first one that we're going to go over is they got Eduardo Nunez from the Giants. He helped the Red Sox a lot. He unfortunately got hurt in the playoffs, or he had injury problems leading the playoffs, so that hurt them. The Red Sox traded Santos and Sean Anderson. None of the guys are in the game. That is unfortunate, but I don't think it would take much to get him. Prospects, we could get rid of some scrubs. Henry Owens, he wouldn't accumulate too much. MLB ready guys, Rock Holt, a couple scrubs, but the prospects one, you could easily get Nunez, boost up your squad. Owens, he wouldn't make the rotation. He wouldn't even develop into like a good rotation guy. So, and the Red Sox also traded with the Mets, and they got Addison Reed. So Addison Reed, 84 overall, helped out the Red Sox pen, and the Red Sox gave up Batista Callahan, and I do not know how to pronounce this last name. This is another one where the prospects were pretty much irrelevant. The Mets, they weren't doing so hot. I'm pretty sure Addison Reed's contract was in his final year, and they weren't going to re-sign him, so they pretty much gave him away for a bag of dirt. No prospects could get traded. You could trade away Pablo Sandoval, who eventually went back to the Giants, Josh Rutledge, Ronis Elias, and Michael Chavez. You could get Addison Reed for pretty much nothing right here, and you would not give up a lot at all. Almost at the end, the Diamondbacks, they made one of the biggest trades in the season when they got JD Martinez. He was a little hotter at the time. He's like an 87 rating, but these rosters are from June, just so all the trades did not happen yet. But JD Martinez got traded for Lugo King, and I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Lugo's the only one from this trade. The thing about baseball is a lot of these guys, like JD Martinez, they were in their final year. The team that they're playing for, they were not doing too hot, so they just end up giving them away to a team that might need them, and for pretty much nothing in return, because they know they either could re-sign them in the offseason, or they just have no chance of re-signing him. So they give him the best chance. The Lugo is involved. They could have got rid of David Peralta and Anthony Banda, which Peralta wouldn't be that bad. Robbie Ray and a 19-year-old catcher, that wouldn't be too bad. MLB ready, not happening. Any other trades? Peralta or Robbie Ray seem to be the main two trades. Robbie Ray and Peralta. Those are the suggested ones, though. This Robbie Ray one wouldn't be too bad, even though Robbie Ray is in the rotation. So you would have to look for a rotation guy if you do end up making this trade in the show. The Nationals, they boosted up their bullpen when they got Sean Doolittle and Ryan Madsen from the Athletics. Helped out their bullpen a lot. The Athletics got a couple prospects in return. We are going to see if they are in the game at all. You got Blake. He was in the game. And the other two guys were not in the game. So if you want Doolittle and Madsen, you'd have to include a starting pitcher who doesn't go to much and Coda Glover. So you give up some of the age with Glover being a B potential at 23 to win now with Ryan Madsen and Sean Doolittle. That might be the only trade that they will take, though. Tanner Roark you could toss in, but why would you get rid of Roark? The only one that seems to make sense that the A's want would be Cole and Glover. So that's not bad at all. The Indians, they made a trade with the New York Mets to get Jay Bruce, and they pretty much gave up no one. They gave up a person named Ryder Ryan. Never heard of this guy before. It'll be surprising if he is even in the game. Another trade where the prospects aren't in the game. Let's see what they would want, though. You can get rid of Yan Gomes, Eric Gonzalez. That wouldn't be too bad of a prospect. Or you could get rid of a couple scrubs. Not even bad either. What are our prospects? Yeah, you could get rid of a bunch of scrubs. Nothing too bad. And Jay Bruce is yours. Jay Bruce, easily acquirable. He is in his final year. He's only good against righties. So if you need him, if you need his help on your team, not too hard to acquire. The Angels tried making a push to the playoffs when they traded for Justin Upton. They didn't give up much for him. They gave up a guy whose last name was Long, and then they gave up future picks in the MLB draft. We'll see if Long was even relevant. Justin Upton actually had a lot left on his deal, but he might have an opt-out year this year, or the Tigers are just looking to rebuild. Justin Upton is 29. There is really no use to have him on the team. They probably talked to him. Grayson Long, that's it. That is him. He's a 59 overall. They would have had to trade Ben Revere and Jordan Adele as well. I don't think Adele would have accumulated much, so it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, this trade won't be too bad. Getting rid of Ben Revere for Justin Upton is power. And the last trade we are making, the Mariners traded with the Athletics. They got Yonder Alonso. He has a D potential, 80 overall. And they traded Powell. 1-for-1 trade for the first baseman. I'm pretty sure Alonso didn't play too bad with the Mariners. And Alonso is in his final year, so will be entering free agency. Yeah, Powell. Powell will make this happen, and Alonso is on the Mariners. We went through a lot of trades. Most of them would happen. The big ones, like the Todd Frazier, David Robertson, and the Yankees, doesn't work out. There was another one, I believe, that involved the Cubs with Justin Wilson, Alex Avila. That didn't really work out too much as well. It might have been the Quintana one. It was one of the Cubs ones. But besides that, most of the trades worked. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below to see more. This is Healy, and I'm out. Peace.